The space station floated silently above Earth, a silver crown against the black void. Inside, humans moved quickly, their faces tense and eyes fixed on glowing screens. For months, the scientists had monitored deep space signals, but none had prepared them for this. A message had arrived, and it was not just any message. It was from aliens, intelligent alien beings, and they were asking for help. Captain Elena Moore stared at the holographic display, her jaw tight. "Are we sure this is real?" she asked. Her voice barely hid the tremor of disbelief. Around her, the room buzzed with nervous energy. Analysts checked, rechecked, and triple-checked the signal. Every calculation, every scan confirmed the same truth: the message was genuine. The alien language had been partially decoded, and the meaning was clear. The aliens were in trouble. They needed reinforcements. It was strange, almost unbelievable. Humanity had faced threats before, but this was different. No one had ever been called to a war in the depths of space by beings from another world. The council meeting began. Generals, scientists, and world leaders filled the room. Screens showed the location of the alien fleet, far beyond Mars, near the edge of the solar system. It was a dangerous place, almost uncharted. Some spoke quietly, doubting the aliens' honesty. Could it be a trap? Was this an ambush waiting for humanity's first move? "We cannot ignore this," said General Anders, his deep voice cutting through the tension. "If they are truly in danger, and if we refuse to respond, we lose an opportunity to show humanity's strength. But we must prepare for the worst. They may not be honest. We must be ready for war." Elena felt a chill. War. It was a word heavy with history, with fear, with blood. Yet, looking at the stars through the wide windows, she felt a spark of something else. Curiosity, hope, and perhaps a sense of duty that went beyond Earth itself. Within hours, the decision was made. Humanity would respond. Not with a single ship, not with a small task force, but with a full war fleet. Ships were mobilized, engines fired, and crews called to stations. Pilots suited up, technicians ran final checks, and the hum of machinery filled the station. The fleet was massive, bigger than any ever seen in human history. Each ship bristled with weapons and shields, a symbol of Earth's determination and its readiness to face the unknown. As the fleet gathered, strange reports began to come in. Sensors picked up unusual readings near the outer planets. Shadows moved where there should have been none. Some claimed to see fleeting shapes that vanished the moment anyone tried to focus. Whispers spread among the crews. Was the distress call a trap? Were they being watched? Elena walked along the hangar, her boots echoing on the metal floor. She passed pilots preparing for departure, their faces a mixture of fear and excitement. Young men and women who had trained their whole lives for this moment now faced the vast unknown. She could see it in their eyes, the question that burned silently: will we return? The first jump into deep space was breathtaking. Stars stretched into long lines, the galaxy folding around the fleet as faster-than-light engines roared to life. Humans had traveled far before, but never like this. Never with the weight of a possible war pressing on their shoulders. The blackness outside the viewports was infinite, and somewhere out there waited the aliens who had called for help, and whatever threat had brought them to their knees. Days passed, and tension grew. The fleet moved as one, a steel river flowing silently through the stars. On the bridge of the flagship, Elena watched every reading, every blip on the radar. Communication channels crackled with reports from scouts. Most signals were normal, but occasionally, something strange appeared: brief flashes of light, patterns too orderly to be natural, too erratic to be random. Then came the first contact. Scouts reported a small alien ship, badly damaged, drifting near an asteroid field. Its hull was torn, and it sent out a weak distress signal. When the fleet approached, humans could see figures moving inside, alien shapes unlike anything seen before. They were fragile, almost vulnerable, and in their movements, a silent plea for help was clear. Elena felt a surge of determination. Humanity had answered the call. They had chosen to protect, to stand not only for themselves but for others in the galaxy. The fleet surrounded the alien ship, shields raised, weapons ready. Every human aboard, every vessel knew that danger could be anywhere. Yet, in that moment, all doubts, all fears, seemed to shrink before the scale of what they were about to do. The alien ship's signal intensified, sending coordinates to a faraway world. It was a place humans had never seen, a planet that shimmered faintly against the black canvas of space. Whatever lay there was unknown. Friends or enemies, traps or allies, nothing was certain. Only one thing was clear: humanity had committed itself. As the fleet changed course toward the alien world, Elena allowed herself one deep breath. Beyond the stars, the future waited. Adventure, danger, and perhaps war. She tightened her grip on the console, eyes fixed on the view ahead. In the distance, the unknown stretched endlessly, but humanity would meet it head-on. They had answered the call, and there was no turning back. The first move in a galactic game had been made. And whatever awaited, humans would not cower. The human war fleet moved like a silver storm through space. Ships of every size and shape gathered from Earth's orbit and nearby colonies. Massive battlecruisers bristled with weapons, smaller fighters zipped between them, and transport ships carried supplies, technicians, and scientists. The hum of engines and the chatter of crews filled every bridge, creating a tense rhythm that matched the anticipation in everyone's chest. Captain Elena Moore watched from the flagship's bridge. Her eyes scanned the holographic display, showing dozens of ships falling into formation. Each vessel was a part of humanity's answer to the alien plea. She felt a mix of pride and worry. Pride for what humanity could do when united. Worry for the unknown dangers that waited beyond the stars. Lieutenant Amir Khan, a young pilot with steady hands and a sharp mind, approached Elena. "Captain, all fighter squadrons are ready. Pilots report full morale, but some are nervous," he said, his voice low. Elena nodded. Nervousness was natural. Even the most experienced soldiers were stepping into uncharted space. On another bridge, Admiral Sofia Reyes addressed her officers. "We don't know what we will face," she said. "But we do know this: humanity will not retreat. We fight together, we protect our allies, and we survive. Stay sharp. Stay united." Her words were calm but carried weight, giving hope and strength to every listener. The fleet's first challenge came quickly. Sensors detected strange energy readings near the outer belt of the solar system. The readings pulsed like a heartbeat, moving unpredictably. The officers debated whether to investigate or avoid it. Curiosity won. Humanity had never faced the unknown like this. It was part of what made them explorers. Fighter squads raced forward, weaving through asteroid fields and energy anomalies. Lights flickered, shields hummed, and alarms echoed. The anomalies seemed almost alive, shifting as if testing the fleet's response. Elena held her breath as reports came in. No casualties, but unusual energy patterns detected, repeating, approaching, unknown origin. The fleet paused near a giant asteroid cluster. Shadows moved between rocks, fast and silent. Scout drones were sent out, but they returned with strange footage. Shapes that did not match any known alien species, almost invisible, flickering in and out of view. Tension rose. Was this the enemy that had forced the aliens to call for help, or some natural phenomenon? Elena's comms crackled. "Captain, I don't like this," said Amir. "These readings, something's watching us." Elena's stomach tightened. He was right. The fleet had answered a call for help, and already, something unknown had taken notice. Night fell on the bridge, though there was no sun in space. Crew members rotated shifts, trying to stay alert. Every beep, every flicker on the radar, sent a ripple of tension through the fleet. Even the scientists were uneasy, whispering about patterns they could not explain, signals they could not decode. Then came the first real sighting. A small, distant craft appeared on the edge of sensor range. It was alien, unlike anything human technology could make. It moved with precision, weaving around asteroids, almost playful, yet undeniably dangerous. Fighter pilots scrambled, but the alien craft vanished before engagement. Some thought it was a warning, others feared a trap. Despite the unknowns, life continued aboard the ships. Pilots trained, engineers repaired minor issues, and Elena moved between bridges, offering calm reassurance. "We stay together. We stay alert. And we trust in each other," she reminded them. But inside, she knew that trust would be tested in ways no human had experienced before. The alien distress signal pulsed in the fleet systems, leading them toward the outer reaches of the solar system. Every jump brought them closer to the unknown planet and whatever waited there. The signal was weak but persistent, a silent plea that kept humanity moving forward despite the risks. Then, one morning, sensors picked up something massive on the edge of the fleet. A shadow larger than any human ship, moving slowly, almost deliberately. The fleet halted, weapons raised, hearts racing. The alien ship that had sent the call for help appeared in visual range. It was battered, its hull scarred, lights flickering. From within, faint movement could be seen, alive, desperate, waiting. Elena's voice was steady over the comms. "Prepare for contact. Keep shields up, weapons ready, but do not fire unless fired upon. Humanity is here to help." The fleet obeyed, tension heavy in every command center. The alien vessel's crew signaled back, weak but recognizable. Relief and fear collided in Elena's chest. The first contact was made. Humanity had reached the aliens. But even as the ships closed the distance, a feeling lingered, a shadow of something bigger, darker, and far more dangerous waiting beyond the stars. And somewhere, in the blackness of space, the enemy watched, waiting for the humans to make their next move. The fleet moved beyond the familiar planets, leaving behind the safety of known space. Stars stretched in long lines as the faster-than-light engines roared to life. Elena watched the streaking light through the bridge viewport, her fingers resting lightly on the console. Every human aboard the fleet felt the weight of the unknown pressing in from all directions. 4 days, the journey seemed almost calm. The fleet traveled in perfect formation, with scouts moving ahead to survey the path. But slowly, strange events began to occur. Sensors picked up bursts of energy in empty regions. Drones sent to investigate disappeared without a trace. Lights flickered in the corridors, and some crew members whispered of seeing shapes that vanished when anyone looked directly at them. Lieutenant Amir Khan sat beside Elena, eyes glued to the display. "Captain, the readings are getting worse. It's like something is following us," he said. Elena frowned. She had seen patterns like this before, but never so intense, so precise. Whatever it was intelligent, aware, and patient. Suddenly, a violent tremor ran through the flagship. Warning lights flashed red. "Report," Elena demanded. Sensors showed that several smaller ships had been caught in a strange gravitational anomaly. Engineers scrambled to stabilize them, shouting over alarms. The anomaly twisted space itself, bending light and creating illusions that made even experienced pilots feel dizzy and disoriented. Amir's voice came through the comm, "Captain, some of the fleet's scanners are offline. We may lose contact if this continues." Elena gritted her teeth. Losing even a single ship in this unknown region could be catastrophic. Every decision mattered, every move was life or death. The anomaly passed, leaving the fleet shaken but intact. Crew members exchanged tense glances. "This is no natural phenomenon," Elena said quietly. "Something is out there, testing us, watching us." The words sank into the silence that followed. The next day, scouts reported something more alarming. Faint signals moving at impossible speeds, coming from multiple directions. At first, the crew thought it was interference or a technical glitch. But then the signals took shape. Tiny ships, almost invisible, darting between asteroids like shadows. When the fleet tried to engage, the ships vanished, leaving only empty space and disturbed asteroid dust. "Enemy?" one of the bridge officers asked. Elena shook her head. "We don't know. But we must assume it is hostile until proven otherwise." Every eye on the bridge hardened. Humanity was far from home, and danger was already finding them. At night, in the darkness of space, the fleet's lights shimmered like fireflies. Crew members tried to rest, but fear was a constant companion. Elena walked the corridors, speaking to pilots and engineers. "Stay focused," she told them. "We face the unknown, yes. But we are prepared. Humanity answers a call not with fear, but with courage." Her words brought comfort, but she could feel the tension growing like a storm on the horizon. Then came the first real sign of threat. A distant explosion rocked the fleet. One of the transport ships had been destroyed, torn apart by energy beams from an unseen source. Alarms screamed, and the fleet scrambled to form a defensive perimeter. The enemy, whoever it was, struck quickly and without warning. Elena's voice was calm but firm. "All ships, maintain formation. Scan for targets. We fight together. We survive together." Pilots raced through the void, dodging invisible fire, trying to locate the attackers. The fleet moved as one, shields flaring, weapons ready, but the attackers remained elusive, appearing only for a moment before vanishing again. The alien ship that had sent the distress call drifted nearby, its crew looking pale and terrified. They gestured frantically at the fleet's sensors, trying to communicate something urgent. Elena's translator struggled with their broken language. "They, not alone. Danger, more coming," the device finally conveyed. A shiver ran through the bridge. This was bigger than anyone had imagined. The aliens were not just in danger, they were on the edge of annihilation. Humanity had arrived to help, but the enemy was clever, patient, and relentless. Elena clenched her fists. "We cannot fail," she said to herself. "Humanity will not fail." The fleet adjusted its course toward the alien planet, moving cautiously through the strange and dangerous region. Every moment was tense. Every decision mattered. The unknown stretched endlessly ahead, filled with threats humans could not yet imagine. As night fell over the fleet, deep in the blackness of space, Elena gazed at the distant stars. Somewhere out there, watching, waiting, was an enemy unlike any humanity had faced before. The first true battle was coming. And when it came, humanity would have to fight not only for the aliens, but for its own survival. The fleet moved slowly toward the alien world, a faint glow on the edge of the black void. From a distance, the planet looked peaceful, almost beautiful, with swirls of green and blue across its surface. But the closer the fleet came, the more obvious it became that the world had seen battle. Craters scarred the surface, smoke rose from strange cities, and the energy readings from the planet told a story of struggle and desperation. Captain Elena Moore's hands tightened on the console. "We've arrived," she said quietly. Around her, crew members held their breath. The moment of truth had come. Humanity had answered the call, and now they would meet the beings who had reached out across the stars. A small alien ship drifted near the planet's orbit, battered and fragile. Its crew appeared on the main screens, moving hesitantly inside the vessel. Elena watched closely as they sent a series of gestures and signals. The translator worked slowly, finally producing a rough message: "Help, others, danger, more coming." Lieutenant Amir Khan leaned close. "They're scared," he said. "Whatever attacked them, it's coming." Elena nodded. She had seen fear before in human eyes, but there was something different about the aliens, something fragile and unfamiliar, yet intelligent. Admiral Sofia Reyes gave her orders. "Form a protective perimeter around the alien ship. Shields up. Weapons ready, but do not fire unless fired upon. We approach cautiously. We are here to help." The fleet descended closer to the planet. The alien vessel guided them to a large city, one that had somehow survived the attacks. It was a sprawling place, with towers and structures that glowed faintly. Strange energy fields flickered along the horizon, evidence of technology far beyond human understanding. Yet there were signs of destruction, buildings damaged, fires burning, and quiet streets that spoke of loss. Elena felt a mix of awe and dread. Humanity had traveled far, answering a call for help. But the moment they reached the aliens, the reality of danger became clear. The enemy that had forced the aliens to call for help was closer than they had imagined. Then came the first signs of betrayal. Some of the alien reinforcements that had arrived with the distress signal began to behave strangely. They avoided human ships, refused communication, and moved unpredictably. Sensors detected energy signatures that matched weapons, but no one could confirm if they were a threat. Whispers spread among the human fleet. Could the distress call itself have been a trap? Elena held her ground. "Focus on what we know," she said firmly. "Our mission is to protect those in danger. If there is a threat, we face it. But we do not turn away from those who need us." Her words steadied the crew, but inside, she felt the tension like a tightening wire. The alien leaders finally stepped forward, small and delicate compared to humans, but with eyes that held intelligence and fear. Through the translator, they explained the situation. A hostile alien race, far larger and stronger, had attacked their homeworld. Their forces were depleted, and they had called for help in desperation. Humanity's fleet was their only hope. Elena listened carefully, realizing the scale of the challenge. "We will fight," she said simply. "Humanity answers your call. We will protect you." The aliens nodded, relief and fear mixed in their expressions. But as the fleets prepared for defense, another signal arrived. From the darkness beyond the planet, massive ships moved with terrifying speed, their silhouettes barely visible. They were unlike anything humanity had seen, sharp, angular, and glowing with energy weapons. The real enemy had arrived, and the calm of first contact vanished in an instant. Alarms blared across every ship. Pilots scrambled to stations, shields raised, and weapons activated. Elena's voice cut through the chaos. "Stay calm. Form ranks. We fight together. Humanity does not run." The alien allies looked to the humans, hope shining despite the fear. They were fragile, scared, but alive. Humanity's presence gave them strength. And as the first shots of the approaching enemy fired across the void, the battle began. The fight for the alien world, and for humanity's honor, had started. Elena gritted her teeth. "We came to help. We came to protect. And we will not fail." The calm of space vanished in an instant. The enemy ships had arrived, and their attack was sudden, brutal, and precise. Beams of energy tore through empty space, striking at the human fleet with deadly accuracy. Explosions rocked the larger cruisers, throwing debris into the void. Alarms blared, and every human aboard felt the fear of the unknown pressing on them. Captain Elena Moore gripped the console, her jaw tight. "All ships, return fire. Protect the alien vessel at all costs." Pilots dove into action, fighters weaving between beams, dodging attacks that seemed impossible to escape. The fleet moved as one, but the enemy was cunning, striking from multiple angles and disappearing before humans could retaliate. Lieutenant Amir Khan shouted from his station. "Captain! Some of the alien reinforcements, they're attacking us." Elena's stomach sank. Betrayal. In the chaos of the battle, some of the aliens who had requested help revealed themselves as traitors. Their ships fired on the humans, striking from behind enemy lines. "Target the traitors," Elena ordered. "We defend humanity first, and then we protect those who are truly in need." Human and loyal alien ships moved together, shields flaring as beams collided in brilliant bursts of light. Explosions shook the hull of the flagship, but the crew stayed focused. Panic would mean death, and there was no room for it. Fighter squadrons raced toward the enemy, their small ships darting between massive cruisers. Amir led a squadron, dodging fire and returning shots with precision. "Stay close. Stick to formation," he yelled. The pilots obeyed, their movements coordinated like a single organism, showing humanity's discipline and bravery. Amid the chaos, a transport ship exploded nearby. Crew members were thrown into the void, their screams cutting through the comms before silence swallowed them. Elena clenched her fists. Losses were mounting, but retreat was not an option. Humanity had answered a call for help, and turning away now would mean failure, not just for the aliens, but for their own honor. The traitorous aliens moved with a strange intelligence, flanking the human fleet and forcing them into defensive maneuvers. But humans were clever and adaptable. Elena signaled a bold plan. The fleet would regroup and draw the enemy into a narrow asteroid field, using the terrain to limit the traitors' movements. The maneuver was risky. Pilots fought to keep formation while dodging both enemy fire and massive floating rocks. The flagship shuddered as it passed through the field, but humans and loyal allies held steady. One by one, the traitors were trapped and disabled, their ships exploding in showers of sparks. Even as one threat ended, another appeared. The true enemy, the powerful alien race that had forced the distress call, loomed on the edge of sensor range. Their ships were massive, heavily armed, and moving with terrifying coordination. This was no ordinary attack. This was war, and humanity was at the center of it. Amid the carnage, small acts of heroism shone. Pilots sacrificed their ships to save comrades, engineers repaired critical systems under fire, and medics rushed to injured crews despite the danger. The fleet's unity, courage, and discipline became their greatest weapon. Humanity's presence gave hope to the alien survivors, showing them that even in the darkness, there was strength and honor. Elena looked at the battle unfolding on every screen. The enemy was relentless, but humans were relentless too. "Hold the line," she shouted. "We protect the innocent. We fight together. We survive together." The crew responded, firing back with precision, dodging, and adapting to every surprise attack. As the first wave of the enemy began to retreat, the fleet took a brief moment to regroup. Ships were damaged, lives lost, but humanity had held the line. The aliens who had called for help looked at their protectors with awe and gratitude. For a brief moment, victory felt possible, but the shadow of the real threat still loomed. Elena's voice was calm but resolute. "This is only the beginning. The enemy is out there. We have shown them we will not back down. Humanity has answered the call, and we will continue to fight until the galaxy knows our strength." Even as repairs began and the wounded were tended to, every officer knew one truth: the battle was far from over. The war for the alien world, and perhaps for much more, had just begun. And humanity would face it with courage, intelligence, and unbreakable unity. The human fleet had survived the ambush, but the cost was heavy. Ships were damaged, fighters lost, and the crew exhausted. Yet Captain Elena Moore and Admiral Sofia Reyes refused to yield. Humanity had come this far, and retreat was not an option. The enemy was clever, but humans were smarter, more adaptable, and willing to fight with courage and unity. "Assess the damage," Elena ordered. "Repair teams, get the shields back online. Weapons teams, prepare for counterattack. We move as one." Engineers and technicians worked tirelessly, repairing hulls, rerouting power, and restoring systems under constant alert. Every second counted, and every person knew it. Lieutenant Amir Khan led a squadron of fighters in the first strike. Their mission: to draw the enemy into a trap. Elena had studied the enemy's movements, patterns, and weaknesses. Humanity would use its intelligence, not just firepower, to turn the tide. The trap was simple but effective. The fleet feigned retreat, pulling the enemy toward a dense asteroid field. The massive enemy ships followed, confident that the humans were weakened and vulnerable. Then, at the perfect moment, the fleet reversed course. Beams of energy erupted from hidden positions, hitting the enemy ships where they were weakest. Fighters darted in and out, disabling key systems and forcing the attackers into chaos. Amir's squadron engaged smaller enemy ships, moving like shadows between explosions and debris. "Keep formation. Focus fire," he shouted. The pilots obeyed, their coordination almost instinctive after months of training and preparation. The enemy had power, but humanity had strategy, unity, and determination. In the midst of the battle, the alien allies joined in. Though weaker and fewer in number, their knowledge of their technology and the battlefield gave humanity an advantage. They provided critical support, guiding the human fleet through unknown energy fields and pointing out enemy weaknesses. Together, they were stronger than the enemy had expected. The flagship shook as a massive beam struck the hull. Elena gritted her teeth and activated countermeasures. Shields flared, energy rerouted, and the ship held. Around her, the crew worked flawlessly, following protocols drilled into them for months. In every corner of the fleet, humans fought not just with weapons, but with courage and intelligence. The enemy fought back fiercely. Massive ships unleashed waves of energy, tearing through the asteroid field, but the humans adapted, using debris as cover, firing from multiple angles, and staying unpredictable. Every move was calculated, every strike precise. The enemy's confidence began to falter. Amir's voice came over the comm. "Captain, we've disabled the lead ship. The rest are faltering." Elena smiled grimly. Humanity's strategy was working. The enemy ships began to retreat, attempting to regroup, but it was too late. The human fleet pressed the advantage, targeting key vessels and using coordinated strikes to maximize damage. The battle raged for hours, a spectacle of light, explosions, and energy. Humanity had taken the fight to the enemy, showing not just strength, but intelligence and unity. The alien allies, once weak and desperate, now fought with renewed hope, inspired by the humans who had come to save them. Finally, the enemy began to withdraw entirely, retreating toward the darkness of deep space. Humanity had not only survived, they had won the first decisive engagement. The fleet regrouped, tending to the wounded, repairing damaged ships, and celebrating small victories. Elena allowed herself a moment to breathe. "We've proven something today," she said quietly. "Humanity is more than just firepower. We are unity, courage, and intelligence. We answer calls for help, and we fight to protect those who cannot fight for themselves." Around her, the crew nodded, their exhaustion mixed with pride. They had faced betrayal, ambush, and an overwhelming enemy, and they had endured. The alien allies looked at them with awe and gratitude, their fear replaced by hope. But even in victory, Elena knew the war was not over. The enemy had retreated, but they would return. Humanity had made its mark in this corner of the galaxy, and the fight for the alien world, and perhaps many more, was far from finished. Elena's eyes scanned the stars ahead. Somewhere out there, the real danger waited. But humanity was ready. They had proven they could fight, adapt, and survive. And when the next battle came, they would face it together, unbroken and unstoppable. The battlefield was quiet at last. Smoke drifted from damaged ships, and the stars above seemed to shine a little brighter after the chaos. Humanity had won the first great battle, and the alien world was safe, for now. The enemy had retreated, their massive ships disappearing into the black void beyond the system. Captain Elena Moore walked along the flagship's bridge, her steps echoing softly. The crew worked quietly, repairing systems, checking supplies, and tending to the wounded. The cost had been high, but the fleet had survived. Human courage, intelligence, and unity had turned the tide, proving that they could face threats far beyond Earth. Lieutenant Amir Khan approached her, a small smile on his face. "We did it, Captain. The aliens, they're safe." Elena nodded. "Yes. But this is only the beginning. They will not stop here. Neither will we." The alien leaders approached the flagship. Though still fragile and wary, they moved with newfound confidence. Through the translator, one of them spoke, their voice trembling but firm. "Your people, they are strong. You fight not for power, but for life. We owe you everything." Elena bowed slightly. "Humanity answers the call. We protect those who cannot protect themselves. That is who we are." The alien survivors guided the human fleet to the planet's surface. Cities were scarred, but fires were being extinguished, and survivors began to emerge. Humans helped wherever they could, repairing structures, sharing supplies, and providing medical care. Humanity's presence was a beacon of hope, showing the aliens that even in a dark galaxy, courage and unity could prevail. Admiral Sophia Reyes addressed the fleet over the comms. "This victory is yours, every one of you. Today, humanity proved its strength, not just in firepower, but in heart and intelligence. Remember this. We are capable of great things when we stand together. Cheers echoed across the fleet. For a moment, the weight of war lifted, replaced by pride and relief. But Elena knew the calm was temporary. Sensors still picked up distant energy signatures, faint but unmistakable. Somewhere in the darkness, the enemy was regrouping, planning their next move. Humanity had shown they could fight, and win, but the galaxy was vast, and threats were endless. Elena gazed at the stars, thinking of the battles to come. "We will be ready," she whispered to herself. "Whatever is out there, humanity will face it. We will protect life. We will survive. We will prevail." The alien allies looked at her with gratitude, their eyes filled with hope for the first time in many cycles. The humans had not only defended them, they had inspired them. A new bond was formed that could endure even the harshest trials of the galaxy. As the fleet prepared to leave orbit and continue their journey through the stars, Elena allowed herself a rare moment of reflection. Humanity had answered a call for help from across the cosmos. They had faced betrayal, ambush, and a powerful enemy, and they had prevailed. The war was not over, but their courage, intelligence, and unity had been proven. And somewhere beyond the distant stars, new challenges waited. But humanity would face them, unbroken and unafraid. The galaxy had witnessed their strength, and the first chapter of this great war had ended with a clear message. Humanity would not be intimidated, humanity would not falter, and humanity would always answer the call to protect life. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, and the fleet moved forward, ready for whatever came next. Victory had been won, but the adventure, the danger, and the fight for survival in the vast mysterious galaxy had only just begun.